Hello and welcome to Fir Park, another update. Okay, so up in the loft, it's almost 7:30 at night and the temperature gauge is at 36.3 degrees C, and that's on this Saturday, the 29th of June. It was higher than that, it was about 41 earlier on. It's still not that bad, it feels warm up here, but everything's absolutely fine. One thing I have been working on, using the kit by Wheels Scenic Materials, is the cable trunking. As you can see here, I've started laying it in positions around about the sort of point work area, and I've been using some orange electrical wire to simulate the plastic protective tubes that they put the cables in underneath the sleepers there. So that's what I've been doing. Just doing some light work, roughly putting it where I think it should go. I don't really know the exact sort of layout of cable trunking, but I've done it to the best of my sort of ability and how I think it could go. It's only a representation. We've got a little bit more over there, and that's what I've been doing up here. Feel free to leave any comments, just advising, if that looks all right. But once it's ballasted up, it's only a representation of the cable trunking, so I'm not really too fussed. One other item I picked up at a recent swap meet was that signal box there, which is HO gauge, German outline made by Polar, I think it is, or it might be Volmer. I thought it looked really good, so I'm going to try and accommodate that in somewhere, because it's getawayable with and I like it, so that's a recent addition. Just a quick word on my Ingen N-gauge continental layout. After much thinking about it, I've decided to break the layout up. I'm going to reuse the baseboard. I shall keep it nice and clean and ready to use for a future project, but I'm in the process of cannibalising it for parts, track work, platforms and buildings I've already used, as you'll see again in the next clip. And just quickly, another Lima purchase. This time they're in mint condition, almost like new, and it's the double Class 37 large logo set with Caithness and Dune Ray. Absolute mint, brand new. They've never been run. Limited edition 350. Picked these up for £65. I thought that was a really good buy, that, and I do like the old Lima stuff, especially if it's in mint condition like this, so I picked that up at a recent local swap meet. And now I move on to my N-gauge rebuild, which I'm doing in the small bedroom. And following on from previous updates on this, I've completed track laying. I may add the odd siding or just tweak the track, but I'm happy with it. The idea of this layout is to offer a snapshot of Scotland in the 1980s, so I've picked several locations, of which I've done a basic interpretation of and tried to include it into the one layout. So for instance, obviously the double track high level main line is just a generic main line, could be the Highland main line, but what I've done is on the lower level I've incorporated a double track lower level going all the way around, and we have here a representation of Carstairs station. It's not quite, obviously nowhere near the proper track plan, but island platform with a loop line and some stabling point sidings. Just here in the foreground I've got a representation of Stranraer Harbour Station, which you would have seen before, and this all follows round over here. and we come into the semi-terminus through station, which can double up as a continental German Swiss Austrian outline, Schelfingen, reincarnated from the other layout I've just mentioned. But this can also double up as a representation of Glasgow Central. A representation of Lucas station will be put up there on a high level, but I have finished laying the fiddle yard behind, 4 roads hidden behind the back scene. And then in the foreground here we have a couple of through lines going through with the terminating platforms in the foreground, and then over there they just come back round again, back onto there. There is a representation of Haymarket Depot, Edinburgh. And then in the foreground here I've done a representation of Oban station, but the track plan roughly as it was in the 60s, the old Oban station where you had the platform with a track there, platform, oval roof over this bit, and these platforms here, obviously the double crossover I can't replicate that easily, but I've done a representation of it. I've curved the tracks in from the opposite direction as opposed to coming in this way, and that is basically the layout. So it's a snapshot of Scotland. I'm probably going to call it something like a postcard from Scotland, and it will be some key locations all modelled within a continuous run layout. And I've finished laying the track now on that, and I'm quite pleased with the result. Obviously I will be modelling the station roof here. There'll be a back scene there going along. They won't be that high, they'll just cut off about there. There'll be some trees here. Over there I shall block that bit corner off with a back scene there and going across. I should do my best to try and disguise everything. I might put a mound in the middle with some fir trees up high so it's natural and just creates a scenic break between the Carstairs representation and Stranraer here. This Stranraer representation is probably the most accurate. I've modelled the bay platform as well, but it's the most accurate. There is a sort of station oval roof covering the first platform line here. It sort of starts roughly sort of there, goes along around, built over the station building. That's something which I'm going to do. It's quite a basic structure to model. There was also a footbridge there in the 80s, so that's something else I can try and model. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing, and so that's it. So I've finished laying the track, so it's a double track circuit going all the way around to the 4-road fiddle yard over in the top left there, with a couple of through lines coming through, and in the foreground we have the line coming around from Stranraer, which also comes into the terminus here, and then you have the through lines going through with the fiddle yard lines back over there, and then we have the Oban line coming off the through line which comes through back round where the depot is, and ultimately there's a loop over there, and that line joins back on there and then back round into the layout there. The double track section remains totally unconnected. That'll just be a separate run up there, but we're getting there. I'm really pleased with the result. And just a couple of quick purchases that I made recently at a model rail event in Engage. I picked up a class 37, and that one is in rail freight. I think that's either petroleum sector or metal sector. Let's just have a look. It's metal sector. Yeah, it's a metal sector one. So that's I quite like that livery. That livery, I think that it came out around about sort of 87 onwards, the sector livery. So that's that was a good find. Picked up a couple of these as well, which are VGA sliding wall vans, rail freight. A couple of those. Rail freight speed link, those ones are. There, and I picked up one of these as well, which is a Gov, I think it is. Let's just have a look. 50-foot X LMS brake coach, BR blue weathered. That is a really nice model, that. they've done a good job on that one. I like those. That look good with a parcels train, you know, red bank parcels, or a especially on the Highland Main Line from sort of Inverness or somewhere, a travelling post office train with a couple of those on as well, or a newspapers train. Yeah, so a couple of purchases there. And just to finish off, who remembers, this is a little bit of a retro kick here. Hornby Class 86s. This one, Halley's Comet. Absolutely brilliant. They're quite old, these ones, but they still run. They're absolute mint. I've got another one there in Intercity Swallow, I think that is, yeah. Swallow livery, that one. And that one's one of my older ones, which I had a go at trying to rename the Kingsman, but I am going to have another go at doing that, yeah. But no, the new Helljan one is coming out, which I love one of those, but these ones are from the archives and they're mint, and they are, you know, classics now, those ones, even though they're worthless. Nobody cares about them, but they still run, and they're good enough for what I want as well. So yeah, a little bit of a retro kick there. I think they date from about 1990 to 92, I think, those type of boxes, yeah. So that's it for this update. So thanks for watching, I'll keep you posted. Thanks to all my existing subscribers. Feel free to leave comments, suggestions, and thanks for watching.